request Mr. Zarir Langrana, Chairman of the CII National Committee on Chemicals and Petrochemicals and the Executive Director for the Tata Chemicals Limited, to deliver his welcome remarks, please.
Honorable Minister Shri Bhagwanth, senior officials from the Ministry and the DCPC, Excellencies, distinguished guests, my industry colleagues, ladies and gentlemen. A very good morning to all of you. It gives me immense pleasure to welcome you to this special B20 edition of the ICPC, held in collaboration with the Department of Chemicals and Petrochemicals, Government of India. Honorable Minister of State, we are delighted to have you with us today. Thank you for taking time off from your pressing commitments to grace this event and be with us. You've been an enthusiastic supporter and advocate for the industry, and we are confident that your leadership will continue to steer us in our progress. Mr. Arun Baroka, Secretary, DCPC. It is indeed a pleasure to have you with us in our midst today. We are extremely fortunate to have your leadership and guidance in working closely with the industry in all issues and matters pertaining to the development of this sector. I am especially delighted that we have the DCPC partnering with us for this initiative. And I would like to acknowledge and thank them for their continued support and for co-creating and curating this conference for us at CII. The G20, B20 holds paramount importance in the foreign and economic framework for India. And Indian industry wholeheartedly aligns itself with this agenda. We firmly believe that building mutual stakes in each other's development is the most effective strategy for fostering closer and progressive ties. Mirroring India's B20 agenda of RAISE, responsible, accelerated, innovative, sustainable, and equitable business, this conference mirrors that, and we aim to deliberate over the day today on themes that reflect this and establish a robust ecosystem for the growth and prosperity of this sector. The chemicals and petrochemical sector, as you all are probably aware, plays a pivotal role in manufacturing, not just in India but across our G20 countries. With this influence comes immense potential, but equally immense responsibility to ensure that our growth is compliant, conscious, competitive, and collaborative. While we all acknowledge the enormous potential this sector houses for growth, we are also, I think, completely aware that this growth needs to be very different. Chemicals are integral to 96% of all manufactured goods across the value chain. Each actor within this value chain has its own needs and contributes to the green and digital transition of the industry. This transition encompasses a toxic-free, harmless environment, climate neutrality, circularity, and digitization. Addressing these dimensions is vital for the resilience and growth of this industry. Our industry recognizes the need to do more and to take a proactive stance and be at the forefront of this transformation process. However, we cannot embark on this journey alone. It requires support, policy support, collaboration from all our stakeholders in this value chain. Honorable Minister, sustainability and environmental responsibility are key focus areas for the industry and for the G20 nations. We firmly believe that chemistry holds the power to do good and to catalyze positive change across the economy, aiding nations in achieving the United Nations Sustainability Developmental Goals.
Honorable Minister of State, Shri Bhagwanth Khuba, Secretary, Department of Chemicals and Petrochemicals, Shri Arun Baroka, Mr. Nadir Godrej, Mr. Zarir Langrana, Mr. Roy Chaudhary, participants from the government, B20 country members, industries, institutions, media, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning to all of you. A very warm welcome for being here today, and we really appreciate the time you have pulled out to attend this conference, which is so crucial for the economy and for the growth of the chemical industry in the world. A special welcome to our Minister, Honorable Minister of State, and our Secretary for being with us today. Just last week, we had the Asia Pacific Industry Conference 2023 in Delhi, and it was addressed by the Honorable Minister Dr. Mandavia ji and Secretary Shri ji. Their presence today is once again a reflection of the importance given by them towards this crucial sector. Dr. Mandavia and the Secretary had encouraged Indian industry to build a world-class petrochemical sector and utilize opportunities that this country has to offer. As per IMF, India is one of the bright spots in the global economy with a high growth rate. Surpassing global uncertainty and headwinds, the Indian economy will continue to perform well and maintain its position of being one of the fastest growing economies in the world. The year of 2023 is very significant as India took over the G20 presidency, and it coincides with the Prime Minister's vision of Amrit Kal. The presidency is not just a strong symbol of our growing recognition on the world map, but also provides an opportunity to enhance our global profile. As we know, climate change is not just an environmental issue, but an existential issue and a threat to our life as well as our operating businesses. India must send a message that we take the issue of climate change and its risk mitigation very seriously. Plus, the need for action with equity is very important. The Indian chemical industry is the backbone of virtually all other sectors and has touch points in almost everything we see, feel, or consume. It is a basic building block of most end-use products we make today. This industry has witnessed a strong growth journey in the recent years, and the trend is expected to continue. Today, India is the sixth largest chemicals manufacturer and has been growing at over 10% CAGR with roughly 80,000 products across segments like petrochemicals, bulk chemicals, specialty chemicals, agrochemicals, and fertilizers. The size of the Indian chemical industry is expected to reach $304 billion by the year 25-26, clocking an annual growth rate of almost 15 to 20%. An investment of the approximate size of 8 lakh crore rupees is anticipated in this sector. The Indian chemical industry is concerned, it offers a wide range of opportunities backed by strong cost competitiveness and rising demand. In segments like specialty and fine chemicals, India is emerging as a preferred partner for large global chemical companies. Agrochemical segment has been one of the key success stories where Indian companies started with contract research and manufacturing and are now becoming key input suppliers across all geographies. Strong policy support from the government, along with the positive regulatory framework, has been instrumental in the success of the chemical industry. These initiatives have created a positive pull and will facilitate FDI in this chemical sector. Many global chemical companies see India as a great consumption story, as well as our per capita consumption of chemicals is among the lowest in the world. With a growing middle class and an aspirational lifestyle, sectors like plastics, water treatment, building and construction chemicals, and other building blocks will witness exponential growth. Chemical industry will continue to be the bedrock for the Indian economy while supporting the other industries as well. The second focus area should be digitalization. India is a global hub of IT and digital innovation. Leveraging these skills across the chemical industry will jumpstart the digital revolution here. Leading IT and digital solution companies can partner with chemical industry on a long-term basis to educate the industry about the digital ecosystem through industry associations like CII, ICC, etc. Further development of user case studies to demonstrate the success will educate people across the board. ESG. The Honorable Prime Minister has a vision to achieve zero emissions by 2070, and the chemical industry has a major role to play in this regard. SEBI has already introduced mandatory reporting of ESG parameters in the form of BRSR, the Business Responsibility and Sustainability Reporting, for top 1,000 listed companies from the financial year 2022-23.
Climate change within a tolerable range. A crisis is what it's about, with fires, floods, as well as drought. Every week a constant blast, far worse than seen in the past. If we must, we will adapt. Prevention, though, would be more apt. There is a cost to adaptation. It's rising fast in every nation, as well as for the world at large. This will be a heavy charge. In fact, we should all conclude prevention would be far more shrewd. It actually would cost much less and avoid a lot of stress. Our industry should play a role in the carbon neutral goal. GHG emissions should be reduced. More green energy should be produced. With fossil fuels, what we can see is flexibility in a high degree, as ramping up is very quick. But when green energy is what we pick, no matter how hard we try, we can't control our supply. We can't commence or interdict. At best, we can try and predict. Solar and wind are both this way. But if we can bring to play as fuels solid biomass or biofuel and biogas, we certainly would then see more flexible green energy. Now, biomass cogeneration makes sense for a continuous operation. In palm oil mills, we use our own, but biomass that's specially grown or byproduct biomass, such as shell powder or bagasse, can now be sourced quite easily, a low-cost source for every industry. Low-ash bamboo's on the way. It can really save the day. It sequesters carbon in its roots. To heady heights it stems and shoots. It can even meet the goal of being much better than coal. While petrol and diesel are highly taxed, the coal cess is much more relaxed. One would think it would be nice if it tracked a proper carbon price. This does serve to incentivize green fuels, but wouldn't it be also wise to incentivize feedstocks that are green? Greener technology will then be seen. Let our fuels and feedstocks both be clean, no longer grey, but blue or green. Whether liquid, solid, methane or H2, let's switch from grey to green or blue. Fossil fuels have had their day. It will take time to phase them away. But before we go completely green, there is some hope that can be seen. The mines, the fields from which we source can also be a rich resource. Now CO2 can take us far when it's used for EOR. But when you use even more, some more oil's pushed out for sure, though not enough to make it pay. A carbon price could pave the way, and technology would save the day. Clean hydrogen is what we need if we are to really succeed. Many technologies can be seen. Some are blue, some very green. From coal or gas with sequestration, for fossil fuel reforming, a reformation. Electrolysis using green energy. Another option that we see is reforming of solid biomass, or why not even biogas. This hydrogen would be green, but if sequestration's also seen, this would be quite another hue, a combination of green and blue, the coolest color which I feel we could then call cyan or teal. There's scope for both green and blue, as long as it is a cleaner hue. But in order to properly read, the benefits, it should be cheap. Good solutions should be in place, as they could prove to be our ace. Green chemistry has always been there, but all the same, it's only fair to state that now it's to the fore, and the emphasis is that much more. The cause by now would have been lost had we always incurred a cost. While planet saving led the way, now we know that it can pay. Harmful waste is very bad, but any waste is very sad. For after all waste is lost, and so indeed unneeded cost. For saving waste, it's always nice to have our reactions quite precise. Of course, green chemistry is clean, but it also pays because it's lean. Much progress we now clearly see with nano and biotechnology. Crop yields are all on the rise, and so it's not a big surprise. Natural feedstocks are catching on. The fossil way may soon be gone. Of course, every chemist knows of oil and starch and cellulose. We've used sucrose and ethanol and started using glycerol. But now that in recent days we made progress with cellulase, cheap simple sugars can lead the way, the dawning of a glorious day. From ethanol to ethylene, then chain elongation can be seen. We can make any olefin, all chemistry can then be green. And soon we'll make a giant leap. As green energy gets very cheap, we can go where it's stranded or where power can't be landed. Iceland, the Sahara come to mind, other distant places we could find. We could make methanol from CO2 and formic or oxalic acid too. This chemistry would be very clean and to my mind truly green. This may seem a fantasy, but in good time it'll come to be. Green hydrogen is now the rage. It's the turning of a novel page. Electrolyzer costs will fall. We will also steadily see improvements in efficiency. Many benefits we can reap once hydrogen is really cheap. There are many paths that we can see for achieving carbon neutrality, but the cheapest way is certainly through energy efficiency. Real interest rates are rather low, and high returns quickly flow for any energy-saving device. For business, this is very nice. Not only are returns quite brisk, there's also very little risk. Ingeniously, we can plan it, serve profit, people, and planet. Sustainability is not a pain, for after all, it is a gain. It helps us all to survive, last long as well as to thrive. It's a license to operate. The ecosystem finds its great. Society, governments, banks cooperate, convey their thanks. Together, with both heart and brain, sustainably, let's sustain. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Godrej, for this poetic address, which many in the industry always look forward to. With this, may we now have the pleasure of inviting Shri Arun Baroka ji.
Good morning to all of you. Honorable Minister of State, Shri Bhagwanth Khuba ji, other dignitaries present on the dais, Shri Jari Langrana ji, Shri Ajay, Shri Ram ji, Nadir Godrej, Namitesh ji, Ankur Singh and the whole CII team and the delegates, the dons of the industry, the industry representatives from G20 countries and the team from DCPC, Joint Secretary Directors, Economic Advisors and other officers who have joined in. Friends, it's indeed a great pleasure for me to join in this opening session. First of all, I must commend the poetic expression of the pertinent issues faced by the industry, showcase potential opportunities and exchange knowledge with G20 countries. The objective of the conference is to yield actionable ideas to boost the industry, forge strategic global partnerships with the G20 countries, and encourage government-industry collaboration in green technologies. To achieve the clarion call of net zero by 2070, Department of Chemicals and Petrochemicals, the department which I am representing in Government of India, has been working diligently to unlock the tremendous potential of the sector, enhancing the technological capabilities and creating facilitative policy environment to attract global green investment. I strongly believe that it is imperative for the group of 20 to work in collaboration to conceptualized in a cluster-based approach on integrated and sustainable model. This model having mixed results, but it is a model which can be, with its proper evaluation, can be successfully implemented by the other members also. We have also learned lessons and we are trying to replicate on some new approaches. I am certain that this model will strengthen our sustainable journey.
International Conference on Chemicals and Petrochemicals. On the dais, Shri Jharirji, Shri Ajay S. Sriramji, Shri Nadir Godrejji, Shri Arun Borokaji, Shri Nimitesh Roy Chaudharyji, Chauhanji, and more important, gathering of this conference from India and abroad and media persons. I welcome to India, particularly the other countries' delegates. We believe in Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. That means world is one family. And this D20, when our India kept a theme, one world, one earth, one future. So I bring some important notice of the World Economic Forums like IMF. India, the bright spot of the global economy. And the World Bank says, if there is any country that is withstanding global headwinds, it's India. Before 2014, our economy is 10th largest in the global, and within the 9 years, India economy has become a 5th largest economy in the world. Why I am quoting all this? India is changing at a high speed in economy, in growth, in security, food security, energy security. So, it is not happened simply. Any country want to develop and strong, that country needs a strong leader, decisive leader, visionary leader. We have got a leader, Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi, in 2014. After 2014, Modi ji government has taken a tremendous decisions as and when required to benefit the country, to benefit the citizens, to benefit the world. We never kept behind at any point of time. So, the world has seen in corona crisis. So such a dense population country, we have managed very well. Now the WHO is appreciating India has managed very well in corona crisis. Not only that, we have developed 2 vaccinations and we administered 220 doses in India and we exported nearly 56 countries for their safety and security purpose. After COVID, many developed countries' GDP has declined, but we Indians say with proud, we have kept our GDP at 6.3 plus percentage. It all happened because of leadership, the citizen trust on leadership, the citizens' faith on leadership, and leader has delivered goods to betterment of the citizens. Infrastructure, the world-class infrastructure in highways in India, every district will connect with the national highways. Every village connect with the all-seasoned good roads. In railway, we have seen double-fold growth in railways. Now in India, our railway station is like at par with airports. Before 2014, India has only 72 airports. Now India has 144 airports. Under UDAN scheme, all regions connected by air. And in 9 years, our ports has capacity and number of ports has become double. And the cargo handling has tremendous growth. India, the digitalization, our digitalization is one of the connecting to each and every citizen of India and 140 crore people. So this is our strength. We are manufacturing many products to consume our own defense department. At the same time, we are exporting our defense products. In last 9 years, 9 urea plants have established, each having 12.5 lakhs metric tons per annum. In very soon, we are becoming self-reliant in urea. Pharmaceutical, India is becoming a pharmaceutical hub. We are the 3rd largest manufacturers of pharma products in the world. Fortunately, I am Minister of State for New and Renewable Energy also. Prime Minister has given a target of 500 gigawatt of new and renewable energy by 2030. One target is set by 2022, that is 175 gigawatt of new and renewable energy. And I am proud to say that we have achieved 175 gigawatt, the target by 2022 before. Already 144 gigawatt new and renewable energy projects either in implementation or either in tendering process. Left only 180 gigawatt. Definitely, we have a confidence on our people by the government. We will achieve 500 gigawatt by 2030, and the Prime Minister ambitious target net zero by 2070. I am assure you our government is going to achieve, definitely will achieve. And recently our government has taken a policy initiatives, sector specific skill development program, new codes for wages, occupational safety, health and working conditions, society security, industrial relations, high quality infrastructure, that is industrial corridor and etc. We have introduced PLA schemes for total 14 sectors. We have proposals and we have brought textile parks, bulk drug parks, plastic parks. Now I come to this chemical and petrochemicals. This chemical and petrochemicals covers around 80,000 products. Every day needs and contributes 1.3% to the national GDP. 2 million people is working as an employee. Second largest manufacturer and exporter of the dyes. Fourth largest producer of agrochemicals globally. 3% of global chemical sale. Third largest pharma producer. We have in this department we have an autonomous bodies, Central Institute of Petrochemicals Engineering and Technology, that is CPET. In 8-year span, CPET has trained 4.66 lakhs students, and for catering the industrial. And one more, we have autonomous bodies, Institute of Pesticides Formulation Technology, IPFT. In 2022 and 23, FDI in this chemical and petrochemical sector, we have earned 10,200 crores. Now we have set a 2047, when the India become 100th year of independence. Our Prime Minister and Government of India has set an ambitious target by 2047, 32 trillion economy of India. 32 trillion. So, I invite, in the final concluding, I invite foreign investors come to India, invest in India for capacity and capability building in this sector and grow together. Jai Hind, Dhanyavad.
Thank you so much, Honorable Minister Ji, for your address.
It is a moment of great pleasure for me to be with you all at the B20 International Conference on Chemicals and Petrochemicals, organized by CII in collaboration with the Department of Chemicals and Petrochemicals, with the theme Sustainable Transition through Green Tech and Digitalization. India's economic growth story has been promising even during the pandemic, and various geopolitical setbacks The country is poised for a robust growth trajectory in the Amrit Kaal, outpacing some of the developed and developing economies. Globally, India is perceived as a competitive and high quality manufacturing destination